Okay, let me get this. Okay, thank you guys all for being on this call and for tuning in. I am so excited today because I was able to finagle here to get a special guest speaker for you guys. Jatana Jackson is one of the coaches in this network that, I haven't really shared this with her privately. Maybe I should have shared this with her beforehand, but I remember just a couple years ago there being like a little incident, and I remember like just seeing how other coaches handled it and losing respect for certain coaches and gaining respect for Jatana, actually. And I saw her make a post about it recently, and I think I made a comment on there and just saying, but maybe I didn't. But she's someone that I have respected for the way that she has carried herself in the heat of stressful moments, and has proven to even just amplify what I'm all about, and that is to keep moving forward no matter what, whether you're feeling on top of the world or you're feeling defeated. I feel from the little interaction that I've had with her that I can tell from my standpoint that she does that, and that she doesn't let things, take her under. And she has, because of that, and because of many other things, I know that she is an elite coach. This week I heard that she's turning 10-star official. She's a 9-star official right now. So that is super exciting. And if you are buying Country Heat, or I saw her even on the preview on Beachbody On Demand for Country Heat, you will see her as well on there. So she's a cast member for Country Heat, and someone that I am just super excited for you guys to learn from today. So this is a special treat for you guys. I hope everyone has their notebooks ready to take lots of notes. One of the things that Jatana was sharing with me is that she's learned how to leverage challenge groups and sneak peeks with those to earn Success Club quickly in the month. So I thought, well, let's get you on towards the beginning of the month here and share that with my coaches so that they can learn from the best. So I will let her, I'm sure she'll probably share a little bit of her story, but Jatana, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you. Let me see. You're unmuted.
Thank you so much, Ravita. First of all, that you said that means a ton, because that was not a fun time in my coaching career, but it's one of those learning moments that we all have at some point, right? But hi, everybody. My name is Jatana. I am a stay-at-home mom of 2 amazing, wild, crazy boys. One is napping, so let's all pray that he stays in his room. And the other one's going to be home from school at 3 o'clock. So we work this business, right? And we squeeze it in the time that we have, as at least if you're moms, as moms. So a little bit about me. I started with Beachbody 3 years ago. Rewind, actually, fast forward, whatever it's called, fast forward, a little bit more than that. I bought P90X from the infomercial when I was breastfeeding my kid in the middle of the night. And I was like, I'm so out of shape. I need help. If they can do it, like they make it sound so amazing, I can do this. So I bought P90X and I put my DVDs in when I got them. And I was like, this is awful. I can't even do a pull-up. Like, I'm doing a pull-up with a chair, and literally all I'm doing is basically squats, because I wasn't doing anything with my arms. I was just going like this the whole time. So P90X was not for me, as in not all our challengers fit into certain molds, but it wasn't for me. And so I put it on the shelf, and actually I think I ended up Craigslisting it and sold it. And I saw another infomercial. The next infomercial was, as stay-at-home moms, I think we're up in the middle of the night, random times when those infomercials are on and they target us. But I saw a Insanity infomercial. I'm like, okay, all I need is a floor and a TV. Like, I can do that. No pull-up stuff. I can't do that. So I was like, I want to do Insanity. Well, at the time, we weren't just in a financial situation to purchase Insanity like we were when we bought P90X. And so I had put on Facebook, which is funny because it showed up in my, how it says on this day on Facebook? Well, it said, I think the post was like, does anybody own Insanity that I can borrow? So I borrowed it from a lady at my church, and I actually never gave it back to her. And she's one of my repeated customers, which is kind of funny. But I borrowed it from her, and I failed at it like 4 different times. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't stick with it. And if you guys have ever tried Insanity, the first like 3 minutes is horrendous. And it's really easy to give up because you have a hard time getting through the very beginning of it, when you feel like this should be the easy part. The end should be hard. So I kept giving up, and I went on the message board. I'm researching. So I'm like, I used to be a college cheerleader. Like, I know how to train for things. Why am I failing at this? And I went on the message board, and I found this coach. She was out in Provo, Utah. Didn't know her. I actually emailed her. Lucky day for her, right? I emailed her, and I was like, I need help. You're a mama too. You've completed Insanity. You have an amazing transformation. Like, why can't I finish this? I actually, before that, went and bought 2 bags of Shakeology on my own because some coach on somebody's blog said you should do a program with Shakeology, because that's what coaches say, right? So I was like, okay, maybe I need to go get Shakeology. So I bought 2 bags on my own. But anyways, I connected with this coach over email, and she put me in her challenge group. And it was in the challenge group when all the light bulbs went off. Jatana was missing accountability and community. Not only was I missing the accountability on my fitness side, but I was really missing the community as a stay-at-home mom. Living in Northern Virginia, where everybody's career focused. It's not South Carolina, where I'm from, where we're like, let's go have a cookout, let's have this and that, where everybody's such a community in the South. Well, in Northern Virginia, it's not necessarily. It's very busy, busy, busy. So I'm kind of environmentally shocked. New mom with little babies, laying on the playroom floor, like tired, hot mess, depressed. So I joined this challenge group, and I'm starting to work on my fitness journey. I'm succeeding because I have the coaching and accountability, and I'm also succeeding and thriving in the inside because I had that community sense, like somebody to talk to about the things that were going on in my daily activities, whether it be making foods or not getting my workout in because I had babies sick all day or something like that. It was a community. So I think that ingrained something in me to be really passionate, not only about my challengers and my relationship with them, but also giving them the challenge group experience that I had. I don't like to see that the fact that sometimes in the network, people can be signed up and then they just get like left aside. And so I want to make sure, if you get anything out of this at all, that when somebody signs with you and buys a challenge pack or a program or Shakeology or whatever it is, that they are entrusting their life with you. And so to really love on them and pour on them 100%, don't look at them as Success Club points or commission or anything like that. Because if my coach Lori had done that to me, I wouldn't be where I am today. So the ripple effect is huge. With that being said, I finished Insanity. I got an amazing transformation. I signed up as a coach. Both of us had no clue what we were doing. She was still kind of a baby coach herself. And whole first year, like Emerald coach, no clue. I was an Emerald coach for a year. I guess it was more like 9 months because I didn't sign on at the beginning of the year. But the next year, after I went to Summit and everything, and I really started digging in and kind of doing research and following certain coaches who I thought were successful. So I followed them, and like, you know what, you don't reinvent the wheel. You kind of repeat what success leaves clues, right? So I started digging in and watching YouTube videos. And from second year, January, I was an Emerald coach. I went Diamond pretty quickly because it was a deep Emerald. It wasn't just like 2 coaches. It was like 12 coaches. And went Emerald to Diamond pretty quickly in February. February to the end of the year, went to 5-star. So there was a moment of like, I'm all in, a decision of starting making strategies and being very strategic, having an action plan, making sure my actions reflected my plan and what my goals were. That year that just made it happen. And I think sometimes coaches get in that mindset of like, it's day to day, and then they don't actually have a direction they're going. And when I decided on that direction, Diamond in February to 5-star by the next December is amazing. And then Mrs. Virginia happened, stayed 5, 6-star that whole year. It was a big hot mess. And then this year I did the same thing at the beginning of the year. I was like, you know what? I need a plan. Last year was kind of a fluke. I was Mrs. Virginia. my priorities kind of got shifted around. And now I went from 5-star at the beginning of this year, because I dropped rank, because we all do, to 10-star now. So 6 months. So if I could preach anything also today, which is totally different from the topic I'm talking about, you got to have a plan and a goal. And then you've got to reverse engineer how you're going to get there. If you have no plan, no goal, and you're like, I just want to go diamond someday, it's not going to happen. You have to start mapping it out and how you want it to happen and where you want to go. And then same thing with your coaches. You got to duplicate that with your coaches, your emeralds, and the new coaches that you sign. So I'll get into my actual topic. It's just part of my story. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to go through this kind of fast and then leave it for some questions, because I want to be able to cover the material before my son gets home, because questions can be a little more informal, but I don't want to get sidetracked if he gets on and is like talking to me while I'm trying to answer questions or while I'm trying to present. All right. Can you guys see my screen okay? Cool. All right, so the way I like to do things in my challenge groups is I like to keep it fresh and fun. That's kind of my personality. And I want something new to market each month. I don't want to be marketing the word challenge group all the time. So I have a plan of action every single month, obviously before the month starts. Like for July, I know exactly what my challenge group is starting. I know what the name of it's going to be, and I know what my order by date's going to be. The group's already set up, the banner's already made, and whenever I'm ready to do this call to action post, it'll be out there on the highest traffic time of social media, which for me is Monday morning at 8 o'clock. I don't know why it is, but maybe we need to play around with summer a little bit. It might throw people off, but for me as a stay-at-home mom, Monday morning at 8 o'clock is fantastic. Yours might be different, so you kind of have to play with it a little bit. But this is a simple call to action post that I did for a challenge group sneak peek. Now, I know we tend to do sneak peeks for coaching because it's a great way to present the coaching opportunity in a short period of time to a large amount of people. Well, I kind of view the same thing with challenge group. I'm able to collect anybody that's interested in a challenge group, in Shakeology, in the 21-day fix, or how I prep my meals, like all the questions that you get in your private messaging or your interactions on your wall. I collect these people into one space so that I can communicate with them all at one time. I was having a hard time in the past where I was getting all these random conversations and I was losing people because I wasn't following up with them. I didn't know where they were. So now I feel like I have a system that helps me transition them from challenge group or to follow-up list. So this is a call. Let me get a sip of water. I have a dry mouth for some reason. This is a call to action post on November 2nd. And I believe it's probably a Monday or a Sunday night. I won't look at my calendar, but I always like to start the first sentence. It's kind of my like hook, I guess you say, you know, all the jabs that I've been doing all week long or all month long. This is kind of my hook post. And something that I like to do is make sure I'm speaking to Jatana 3 years ago. What is Jatana 3 years ago feeling? For example, this is November. What is Jatana 3 years ago feeling in November? Like, how is she feeling? Where was she at? What was she eating? What kind of clothes was she wearing? What size was she? What did she feel like when she got dressed in the morning? That's how I like to put my mindset on when I'm going to do a call to action post, actually almost any post, because I'm speaking to that girl and I'm going to relate most with that girl. So one of the things that I used to do in November is that time of year where you start wearing those. Back in the day, you used to wear the sweater dresses, you know, the long ones, and you wear the boots. In the fall, it's gorgeous here in Virginia. And I used to wear these Spanx tank tops. They have them, they're like just regular tank tops, but they're super tight around the midsection. And so that your sweaters just fit like perfectly flawless, and you didn't have a muffin top, even though you did, it just sucked it all in. It was really uncomfortable. So when I write this, I'm writing this because it's what I used to do. Who wants to cruise to the holidays with no Spanx and be ready for the new year? It's just a simple little thing, but it really does like set somebody's mindset of like, oh my gosh, I have them on right now, or I've got to wear them tonight, or actually I need to go to Target and pick some up. It tags that person with me of like, okay, I need to finish reading this. Anyways, I invite them to my sneak peek. I'm going to share with them what it is, how it works, how long does it last, how do they join, all that stuff. It's very non-invasive. I always put no coaches, please, because so many coaches will try to join that thinking they're going to join a group because they're stinking at their program or whatever. So I always put that out there. But the image is made on PicMonkey. It doesn't have to be a professional picture. It can be a picture of you, looking cute in your workout gear, and then you can edge yourself out and make it look super professional. The little bulb here with a measurement is from Google Images, so nothing super high tech. Now, I like to change my themes every month so that when I promote these things, I have something new and exciting to promote. So, for example, New Year, New You, it's like so overused, but I use it because it makes sense for me. And I was very intentional with the picture that I put, because the picture I put shows the transformation over 3 years for me and my husband. It's like, what trajectory, and I think I put this in the post, what trajectory would Josh and I be on if 3 years ago we didn't make this commitment to our life? Joshua would be, and I went through and listed all the things that he struggled with. He was pre-diabetic. He was sleeping with a CPAP machine, just a ton of health issues. And now, here we are 3 years later, our trajectory changed. We changed the course of our family's life. And I put that in the content of the post of my New Year, New You. So it was very intentional that I didn't just put me working out, join my fitness group, because it doesn't connect with people. And I like to have a theme. The next one was Love Your Body. And this one I would say is a little bit more on the cheesy side. So it's not my most favorite one, but it is an example that if you don't have any ideas, you can still do it. Like, don't sit around and just not do it. And then I had an idea it was more for the March group, but kind of intertwining my love for beauty and fashion. I love to do makeup tutorials and things like that, and give little fashion tips. If I find something cute at Target, I always post about it. And then I leveraged the Mrs. Virginia thing. But anyways, I did a makeover mama challenge group. And in the challenge group, I would do little tips and things like that. So I felt like I was adding value outside of the fitness stuff. But this is just kind of giving you ideas how you can create a new challenge group every 30 days to keep your business flowing. All right, so the group is created and people are asking to join it, or they add themselves. I never, ever, ever, please don't ever do this, add somebody without asking their permission, meaning you've had a conversation with them, they're interested in joining your challenge group or interested in learning something about it. Because so many of other MLMs are adding, I don't know if you guys get the LuLaRoe and the Roden and Fields, you get added to all these groups and you're like, I'm not in this group, how do I get in here? Don't do that. It's really, really bad business and unprofessional. But the very first thing that I like to do in my challenge group sneak peek is share my journey. So this is just one little simple one that I could actually get into a picture on PowerPoint, but I have some that are much longer, like 3 paragraphs of me going through my story from where I started to where I am now. And it has my personal before and after picture. I don't use other people's because I feel like people need to see that I've been through it and I've done it. And I like this one was actually for my New Year, New You, and that's why I used my husband because he has such a drastic transformation from 2012 to 2015. But in general, I tend to use my own 21-day fix extreme transformation and share my story because they connect with you. They want to join your challenge group. They know that you've overcome something and you're going to show them the way that they can overcome it. So the very first thing that I post in my challenge group sneak peek, well, not the very first. The very first thing is like, hey, welcome to Buddha. Just kind of welcoming everybody and letting them know that people are going to be added to the group. The next thing is my personal story and transformation. Going back before you guys start staring at that screen, the next thing that I do is typically a motivational post on how this group is going to hold them accountable. And it's typically a picture of me working out, and it says something to the effect of my alarm went off at 5, I didn't want to get up. And, you know, the post that you would do about overcoming not wanting to work out, but because of the accountability that you have with your group, you're going to get it done. And then I think I use the quote of like, successful people do what other people are not willing to do. So if you want to be successful at your fitness journey, you're going to have to do things that not everybody's willing to do. And so that's just a little inspirational post that I do in the sneak peek before I go and do my call to action post. I think I also share a portion control kind of, not the full program, not all the containers, just like a did you know that we're only supposed to have, kind of giving them an insight to the nutritional value that they're going to learn with being a part of this group. So this is my call to action in the challenge group sneak peek. And it, as you can see, is November 6th. Now my call to action on my wall was November 2nd. So it was only 4 days later. Wasn't too much time lag. It's a little crooked because when I'm not technologically savvy, but this was a 21-day fix focus group that I was putting my energy into. And I let them know that everybody that orders a challenge pack will be put into a drawing to win size, because I think it's a little fun little cardio they can do with their program. But I list everything out that's going to be coming with their challenge pack. I give them 2 options, the beginner and intermediate, which is basically the regular, fixed, and extreme. And then I put a video at the bottom with the unboxing of the 21-day fix extreme, because for some reason the 21-day fix doesn't work anymore. So I do the unboxing from Beachbody and ask them to write done when they've ordered. So this was posted on the 6th. On November 6th, I had Ashley, Kim, Jennifer, Beth, and Melanie. That's Success Club 10 on the first day. So that's the beginning of the month, the first week of the month, and Success Club 10 is out the door. Honestly, if nobody else is able to do it, we'd all be completely happy, right, with getting just 10 points and be done for the month, focus on our challengers and our coaches, and re-inviting again for the next challenge group. But it keeps going. And the reason why, I have to keep getting water. The reason why I think it keeps going is something called the power of positive peer pressure. There's this video on YouTube, and I don't know if Brigida's seen it before or you guys have seen it, but there's this guy and he's out like at Lollapalooza or some weird kooky festival up in Lollapalooza's kooky. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. But they're sitting out on a carpet or rug or whatever, and in the middle of this field, the bands are playing, and this guy gets up and he looks like he's on something, and he's like dancing in the middle of the field, right? And he looks really loopy and crazy. And then all of a sudden, another person gets up, and now there's 2 people out there in the field dancing. And before you know it, 3 or 4 more people get up, and now there's 10 people dancing, and it keeps adding. And within like 7 minutes, there's 50 people out there dancing together. And that one person who looked like a complete moron out there dancing like a fool doesn't look so crazy anymore because everybody's dancing. And that is the power of positive peer pressure. And that's kind of what that's what this is. When I have people not publicly, but in the group publicly, commit to doing this program with me, it takes that person who's on the fence and gives them a little bit more confidence to join this. That they're not the only one going to be joining this. And sometimes it takes the first person to say it, but they're not the only one joining it. They're joining in on something with other people. And so I love the power of positive peer pressure. I use it a ton with my coaches, and I use it also in my challenge group sneak peeks. But it goes on. You can see on the 8th, we had Andrea, Peggy, and Tracy. That's 3 more. And then we had Taylor and Kelly. I think I ended the month with Success Club 26 in like 9 days. That's crazy. And this has been a repetitive thing since November when I first started this whole crazy every 30 days challenge group, because before I used to have the large challenge groups and I didn't have a reason to hit Success Club. I had my reasons what Beachbody gave me, but I didn't have a reason each month to hit it. I needed something that I could say I'm just going to throw a date out there. On June 15th, my challenge group is starting, and if I don't get my people in there and I don't start inviting and following up and creating those relationships, then I'm not going to have anybody for my challenge group. So I have something to work towards. And it makes hitting Success Club so much less stressful, but it does give you an action plan. So I encourage most coaches, at least on my team, to run a challenge group every 30 days. All right. I incentivize with size, like I said earlier, and I post that in the actual challenge group so they're reminded. Everybody who joins this group will be put into a drawing to win size, and then put a little marketing that Beachbody gives us. And I do a ton of videos. I think it's great, especially in the beginning. before people commit, basically explaining who you are. I know you put it in a text with a picture of your before and after, but if you're like me, I don't read long posts unless like I really love the person and I want to read their story. I'm more of a video person, so I kind of make sure I give that to whoever personalities that I have in there. I make a video explaining who I am, what my journey was, what they're going to get out of this group, what I expect from them, and the commitment that we're going to have mutually, so that they know that I'm in on this. I'm not just trying to sell them something to make commission, but that I really, really want this to be an amazing experience. So lots and lots of videos. Videos are great. Makes you more of a human being and not just somebody behind a computer. And then I also give very specific dates. So in the video that I have here, I'm literally holding my little Erin Codron calendar, right? And I'm going, okay, guys, so we're going to start on the 18th, right? It's the 4th of July, and I know everybody's out having a cookout and all that stuff, but when you get back to your home and you're watching this video, know that on July 11th, you got to have your order in, because that is the final cutoff time to join this group. And we are going to meal plan. We're going to work on our portion controls, and we're also going to be able to swap recipes. You're going to have a personal trainer style workout right there in your home, and I am going to hold your hand all the way to the end of this. So got to get your orders in by July 11th, and that's basically the concept of the video that you see in this picture here. And I totally just threw random dates out there, so I'll be writing those dates down like, oh my gosh, July 11th, yeah, that's it. All right, so another power positive peer pressure is people start ordering, right? These are all the people who ordered. I think there's like 4 people on here who actually just bought the program. One was allergic to stevia. Somebody else already had Shakeology, whatever. I let everybody in. I don't have if you don't buy a challenge pack, I'm not going to help you. Because guess what? I came to my coach and I had borrowed the DVDs from somebody, and now I'm a 10-star in her downline. So you just never know whose life you're going to affect, whose life you're going to change. And even further beyond that, who could like explode this business, right, for their life, and then in turn give you a ton of volume. So I love on everybody as if they are they bought $1 million or $1 million things from me, and I don't even stress about whether or not they bought it off of Craigslist or wherever. But most of these people are challenge packs buyers. A few of them are not, and I list them out. And it's so funny because as soon as I do that, this is actually an edited list. I think the first time I posted, there was probably like 10 people on here. And then as soon as I post it, Amber will be like, you forgot me. I got it. I'm getting it tonight. Or Stephanie's like, I'm going to do it. I promise. I'm doing it tonight. And so people start committing once they see that list of names and their name's not on there. And then also the very final video that I do before I close the group out is I have all these names listed out, and I say, hey everybody, it's Jatana. Welcome to this challenge group. I'm super excited. We're going to, clear it all out tonight. So it's going to be only the challengers. Here are the challengers that I have that I'm going to be working on. I reinstill all the things that I'm going to be doing for them, and I list out their names in a video. And it's so fun. I don't know what is fun about Dan. Like, and we have Brigitte Linford, we have Brittany Moore, we've got, and we go through and we name out all of our challengers, and they're like, yes, I'm in. Or somebody else is like, wait, I want to be in. And they commit to the challenge pack or whatever they're going to be doing. All right, so that's another little power positive peer pressure. So what do I do with everybody who didn't buy? This is a great way to create a system to follow up. So I take everybody out that did not purchase, and I put them on a long follow-up list that I have ongoing in a notebook that I can follow up with and be like, hey girl, I know you didn't get to join the holiday hotness group, but I have a new year, new you group, and I know you said that you couldn't get it because of whatever situation they were going through, because I have that private messaging conversation with people. But I wanted to give you a spot if you wanted it, and you have it, if it's yours. And they can either say, I can't right now because it's the holidays, or I can't right now because we're going on vacation, and say, cool, well, let me follow up with you the next time I have a spot opening up. And then I have a constant follow-up list, because there's probably 70 people in here, and 30 of them joined. That means I had 40 people who didn't that I can follow up with going forward. And so my first post to my new challengers and new challenge group is just a few rules, super easy. It's a judgment-free zone. encouragement and love for everybody. And then I ask them to post a picture below of them, and I create a little collage. Now I share it in the group, and I ask them, is it okay that I share this on my wall and tag you in it? Now, I've never had anybody say, no, don't tag me. But I always want to ask their permission before I use their picture and tag them in something. And this is typically what the tagging post looks like. Do you know a face on here? These are the finalists of my Holiday Hotness group. Give them a huge shout out of support, because in 30 days, and this is just me re-shouting out to my Facebook audience that I've got something going on and people are doing it and we're about to transform their lives. But not only am I shouting that out to my audience, but I'm shouting it out to their audience as well. Because in 30 days, they will have transformed their health and fitness, and they're going to learn portion control, how to meal plan, and getting a personal trainer style workout in their home. They're also going to win fun prizes, and they're going to be a part of this private group that's going to hold them accountable. By the way, my next challenge group starts January 4th. Please RSVP or message me to RSVP. So, I tag everybody in here, and as you can see, their friends start supporting one another. You can do this, sis, I think is what Bianca said. And then Stephanie, my challenger, said, thanks, B. And Lisa said to Lisa, go, Lisa, go. So it's a way to not only expand my warm market, but sometimes I've also noticed it's a way to pinpoint who would be amazing coaches, because there's just something about certain people that are naturally magnetic, and their Facebook audience just adores them, and so they follow their journey. And so my challenge group posts are very, very tailored around grooming people as coaches, and it encourages them to share on their wall. And as they start sharing on their wall, that transition from challenger to coach becomes a lot easier. But this is my little collage thing that I do, and I want to say about 40% of the people on here are coaches now, which is kind of neat because that was in November. All right. I don't like this picture, so we're going to fast forward past that one. My assistant grabbed it. But basically all that was, hey, we're going to have a Zoom call at this time for our challenge group, and inviting them to the Zoom call. I do it before as a kickoff, and we go through, and this is the call. You can see all the people's faces here. We have a silly face or whatever. I call it a pajama party because I don't want them to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting on the call with this Beachbody coach who's amazing, because they have this huge picture of you, right? I'm in my PJs. We're all chill and relaxed. I have my containers. I have the 21-day fix meal plan, the Shakeology, and the DVDs. And I go through and I walk through everything with them like I would any normal one-on-one with a challenger, except for I'm able to do it with everybody at once. What I also like to do is have them go around and introduce themselves and share why they want to be a part of this. Now, sometimes we're all in tears after hearing it because they're sharing their heart. Most of these people are complete strangers. So this creates a sense of community, which I desperately would have loved 3 years ago. To know that I could jump on a call with a bunch of women and share why I'm struggling, and that they're going to have my back, and that we're going to do this together. This makes me excited because I would have loved to be a part of that 3 years ago. So creating this community in the very beginning of your challenge group is so crucial, because that's what gets people sticking together and really speaking loudly during the challenge and not sitting back and being quiet. You guys have those dead challenge group where nobody talks. It's because they don't feel cohesiveness. They don't feel that sense of community. So it's really uncomfortable to post. But if they just got on a Zoom call and they all talked about their goals and their why, and they're introducing and they're laughing, and I'm, interacting with them and answering their questions, then they remember Amber, and then they remember Lisa, from the group. And so when they post, they start interacting with one another, and it's an amazing thing. I actually have some people who are lifelong friends now who would have never met if it wasn't for the challenge group. So it's kind of cool. I mean, they traveled to Canada and flew and visited each other, and they met in the challenge group. So I absolutely love that. So another way that I keep people involved is I do a point tracker. I like to give away prizes because I'm like a gift freak for myself. I love getting gifts. And so I love giving them. And I track their point, or they track their own points actually. And things like the daily tasks that I give, the daily tasks, remember, are always driving them towards being amazing coaches. It's having them do things that coaches would typically do. For example, one thing you could have them do is say, hey, Brittany Harper, which is the first girl on the list here, today you are assigned for the motivational post of the day. And so Brittany Harper has to come up with a motivational post of the day. It instills confidence in her. And I'm very intentional in who I ask, because it's usually people that I'm kind of watching, think they'd be amazing, but they don't know it yet. So I'm giving them a little bit of leadership and confidence in my challenge group as challengers. And it's so fun for them to see, oh my gosh, like they love my words. I have something of value to add. And then, ask them to do random act of kindness, or, the sweaty selfies is the second category. They have to post a sweaty selfie and get their workouts in. The next category is drink Shakeology. And the fourth category is invite a family member or a friend to the next challenge group. Then they get 3 points. And the last category is tagging me on a Beachbody fan page. And the reason why I love this is because it's broadening your audience more, right? And there's so many, this is funny, now that I've been doing this, and my challengers are tagging me on 21 Day Fix Instagram accounts, 21 Day Fix Facebook pages, and they're saying, oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds my first week. Jatana Jackson's challenge group is so much fun. There's so many people who have bought 21 Day Fix off infomercials, off Craigslist, borrowed it from their neighbors, and they're like, I need help. It's just sitting here on my counter. And who's this Jatana Jackson girl? This girl saying she lost 5 pounds in the first week in this challenge group. What's a challenge group? And so I'll have these strangers message me. And first thing that I always do is, hey girl, thank you so much for messaging me. Are you currently working with a coach? Because I've never, absolutely, hands down, never will I take another challenger from a coach. I will message that coach. And even if that person's like a little uncomfortable, message that coach and like, hey, don't say anything, but this challenger needs some love. They need some help. Can you reach out to them? Just to help that coach out. But I have a lot of people who are like, no, I don't have a coach. And if they did, they don't even realize it because the coach is not following up with their leads. And so I encourage them to communicate best they can. But if not, I'm going to help them out because I'm not going to leave them stranded. So that's another way to expand your audience. And then you also have people who follow the 21 Day Fix page but have never committed to actually purchasing it. And so they could see that as well and want to join in on your challenge groups. Then at the end of the challenge, I have 21 days worth of fantastic posts that gear them to become coaches, right? The last call to action, and I wish I would have clicked see more so you could actually see the 3 things that I give them. But the first thing is offering my next 30-day group. They're allowed 2 rounds of my 30-day groups before they have to go into option 2, which is my overall Epic Empire Accountability Group, which is my teen group. Teen group is full of discount coaches, coaches who don't really want to work the business too much, but might sell a challenge pack here and there, and they need their challengers to have a home. So that is my larger group. And then the third option, I have listed out all the benefits of coaching, the military discount, all of that, and then a link to a sneak peek that I actually keep open all the time. So every month when I do the challenge group, the sneak peek is always open. So they have options that they can direct themselves to. So I'm not going and shifting people around from group to group. They put themselves in the group they want to be in. And sometimes it's multiple groups. Sometimes they want to do the next challenge, but they also want to check out the sneak peek. So it takes a little bit of work off of my hands and allows people to choose where they want to go. But it also presents coaching to every single challenger that completes my group. So that is really quick Jatana's challenge group sneak peek. And I would love to answer any of your questions because I know some of them that are going to be asked because they're asked all the time. So feel free to ask a question. What time is it? How did I do? Oh, good. We got 20 minutes before little man comes barging through the door.
I just have to say, this is blowing my mind. So many things I have never thought of. I've been, taking notes like crazy. And I've been taking all these screenshots, too. I'm this is golden. This is, such great information. Some of the questions I saw down here is, how many days is your challenge group sneak peek?
It's about 4 days long until I give the call to action post. So remember, I did the call to action on my wall November 2nd. And then I had a series of posts, which are my transformation story, a motivational workout post, typically a nutritional post, basically kind of giving them a sample of what you would give them in one day. And then I do a call to action post. And then from there, I start counting down. So for example, my July group, I think I actually gave you all the dates of my July group. July 11th is my order by date. July 18th is my starting date. So I will probably promote my challenge group on June 27th, right? So I start collecting my challenge group sneak peek on June 27th. That gives me the week of June 27th to start collecting people. I don't want to sell any challenge packs because I'm already in Success Club, so it allows me to give the call to action after July has already started. So June 27th, I'm collecting people. And then there is a welcome on the 27th already in there. So when people enter the group, there's already a welcome and explains that posts are coming, people are being added. June 28th, I would probably post my transformation. June 29th, I'm just giving you a rough sketch, but June 29th would probably be my motivational workout. Like I didn't want to get up 5, I did it, cut the alarm off. The successful people, I literally do the same post every time. Just a really good, solid, like how to overcome and get your workout in, and that's how I did it, and I'm going to help you type thing. The 30th would be a nutritional tip, something that they would be like, really? I didn't realize I was overeating on portions, something of that sort. And then you go into July 1st, which is when I would do my call to action. My call to action post would be on that Friday. I would start probably the 2nd with my video, introducing myself, explaining to them what they're going to get out of it, sharing with them that they're going to meet me halfway. I'm going to hold their hand. We're going to get all the way through this together. How good they're going to feel. Paint the picture for them in that video of how amazing they're going to feel in 21 days so that the price objection isn't there because you've really painted a picture of where they're going to be at the end of this challenge. And then I start doing a countdown. I'll do you got 6 days to order, 7 days or 5 days, and I count down. And then on the last day, I say, at 5 o'clock today, this group's going to close to challengers only. This is the list of people that I have that have decided to join us. And then I'll get some stragglers in there. And then the day that is the day before that, the day that it's the last day is when I make my video, basically congratulating everyone, reading their names off out loud. And then I'll still get some stragglers who want to join in at the last minute. And then they have to order by that last date. And I close out the group, move everybody who didn't order onto my follow-up notebook list, which I totally have a notebook full of people who haven't decided to join since November, but I continue to follow up with them. And they're like, keep asking. I'm going to be able to do it sometime. Finances just aren't there yet. Things like that. Yeah. And then those are even summer sale people. I can be like, listen, I know you haven't been able to join my challenge group and I want you to get help. I want you to see that there's a summer sale going on and you can, those are people that I can plug that into. If they literally can't afford it, then dang it, they can get T25 much, much cheaper and they can start doing something. And I'll still put them in my challenge group. If they buy T25 from the summer sale, they get an opportunity to join in that way. So that's kind of my process. Sorry, I was a little long-winded.
No, that's perfect. Mm-hmm. Question here. So you don't require a challenge pack sale. I think you did answer that they just need to order a program right from you.
Yeah, so my call to action post gives them the only option is a challenge pack. Now, if the challenger is super thinking literally I have $50 and she gave me this challenge pack link and I can't afford this, then they might start shopping around and see that they can get something a little bit cheaper that might fit their budget. And they'll message me and say, hey, I can't really afford the 140 or 160. But I saw that the 21-day fix costs such and such. Can I do it with just that? And of course, I am going to help them and love on them where they're at. Like I said, you never know. You might be signing the next Melanie Mutro. So I help everybody. They have to buy something. They can't be I'm going to go walk on my bike or my treadmill.
And then people are asking about the tracking form. I took a screenshot of it, but they're saying, can you share the tracking form?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I've done this call a bunch of times and I'm like, sure, you can have it. It's just an Excel spreadsheet, but yeah, right. Absolutely.
Any other questions from you guys?
I see the
People
chat.
are all like, this is awesome. This is amazing. I love this. I can see people are as excited about this as I am.
Good. It's been super easy, and it allows me to be excited every month about something new, and not get burnt out with like the same old, because every month I'm doing something new. Now, I don't have my July name picked out yet, but I've used Summer Strong. I've used Spring into Shape. All of those cliche things. So don't feel like you've got to be like insanely creative, but definitely make it you. Make it fun.
I love it. And then someone's asking, okay, so like the sneak peek being 2 weeks long, technically, yeah, it's like when it opens, but then there's a couple days before and then a countdown before she kicks everyone out. And then you're still doing like a preseason of this is the last day to order, July 11th, but then we're actually going to start on, the 17th or whatever.
Yeah, and then I do a kickoff call typically the weekend before we start. Pick a day. Typically, unfortunately, it's always Sunday night that everybody can actually get on a Zoom call. I found that to be the most desired time. It doesn't work great for me because I help with our youth group, so Sunday nights are a little rough, but that's been the best night, and I can't be him already. It's too early. And just get everybody on and explain and break the whole thing down so nobody has questions. Most people have already done their grocery shopping, but it's a great time to create a sense of community.
I love that. And the example you gave was 21-day fix. Do you normally do program specific, or like how does that really change when you're doing one that's different with a bunch of different programs?
Yeah, so I do two things. I do program new releases, and I do 21-day fix. That is just because my market tends to absolutely love 21-day fix, and I feel like anybody can start with the 21-day fix, do it for 21 days, learn how to portion control, learn how to meal plan, have a very standard workout, and they can upgrade to something different after the 21 days. But most of my coaches, most of my challengers, that's just like what they love. They don't, and they, like I said, they can do Body Beast afterwards or Hammer and Chisel. But 21-day fix is absolutely a fantastic beginner, like just starting out with beach body style workout. Now, like I said, if they come to me and they're like, no, I really want to do T25, then of course they're going to do T25. And they'll just have to roll into my next group if it's over, or it's not over by the time the program's over.
Yeah. So it's not really like a full 30-day group because you're all starting day 1, day 2, going 21 days. Sorry, you're getting a couple questions here. So you'll actually only allow 2 rounds of 30 days and then give them the option to add to the coach group. If they don't join your challenge group, you don't add them anymore. And I don't know for sure.
They're in a Epic Empire accountability group, which is basically all of my veteran challengers who never became coaches. And that's okay because what I have in the cover photo for that one is like, Motivational Monday. Every day, every Monday through Sunday have a certain thing that they're supposed to post. And we do little contests in there also, but that to keep it lively and going. But those are all veteran challengers who didn't decide not to coach. Now, I do have some challengers that are working on like 200-pound weight loss, and I am not going to lose my grip on them and put them into a larger group. So if they're a special situation where they need continued support, then they will just keep rolling into my groups until they're where they're at, where they want to be. And I had a girl just finished up, and she's like, I think I can move over to Epic Empire Accountability. She lost 120 pounds.
Wow.
So, yeah, some people it's just a special case where you're like, nope, they still need me, and they need that intimacy more than just the accountability group.
Yeah. And that group are you doing like the same post every single time, even though it's like a different theme of like New Year, New You, or the, love your body kind of thing?
You mean for the accountability group?
For your monthly challenge group, like it has a different name. Are you doing the same post?
Mm-hmm. Yep, same post.
Yeah. And then someone says, do you coaching invite to the, I'm not sure if I'm understanding the right question, Sam. Do your coaching invite into the sneak peek as well?
Like, do I invite to coaching during the sneak peek, or?
I'm not sure. Maybe Sam can rewrite that. Do you let your PS coaches invite to these groups with you, or do you have them do their own?
That's a very good question. So I am a firm believer in the I do, we do, you do. So what I do is I might sign, say I sign, for example, 3 coaches in the month of June. Those 3 coaches in the month of July will do a challenge group. Actually, I have people doing the challenge group with me. That just the brand new coaches, right, that sign with me the month before. And typically, like 99% of the time, they are from the previous challenge group or from another previous challenge group. So they know exactly what the experience is about to look like for their challengers. So they join in with me. I give them the exact post that they're going to send their people when it's time to order. So they have the links and everything already set up and like, save this because you're going to use it in the future. It's already written out for them. And so those people go through and they add their challengers to it. We all do it together with those 3 coaches. I don't have them post because I don't want to overwhelm them as brand new coaches to feel like they got to post on certain days. But I do tell them you have to love on your challengers. Like, these are your challengers. You need to make sure you're loving on them. I'm going to love on them. If you feel like you want to love on mine, that's great. But definitely you're accountable to your people. And then after that, they have to, I help them. Actually, I get on a Zoom call. I probably do way too much, but I get on a Zoom call with my brand new coaches and like, all right, your next challenge group is starting on this date. We need to create a pick monkey. We need to pick the date. We need to pick the order by date. We need to come up with the post. And that sets them up for success right from the beginning. They know exactly what to post from their call to action, like the words they want to use. They have a wonderful image that they can use on their call to action post. They have the group already set up. Some of these coaches don't even know how to create a group on Facebook. Help them do all of that. They let me be their admin. I give them all of the daily posts, the point tracker and everything. So they've been in it with me. We've done it together. And now they're doing it on their own. And I'm still an admin in there in case like I see something crazy and I'm like, wait, no. And I can at least police it a little bit. But and then after that, they keep going. An example, my coach Afton became a challenger in January for my New Year, New You. She signed up as a coach at the end of the 21-day fix when she was ready to do extreme. She went diamond 8 weeks later. And she's going 1-star and like she's in 1-star qualifying right now. So the duplication process, and the same with her coaches. She has a coach that just went diamond through the same process and they did the exact same thing. And that's why I think I've been able to duplicate myself so quickly this year, going from 5-star to 10-star in 4 months, because people are learning to just duplicate this and then give it to their next coach and their next coach.
Yeah. So do you ever sign up coaches without like them doing a challenge group first, or are all of your coaches really challengers first? Like when someone comes to you and says, I want to do the business, you say, I want you to be a challenger first.
I very rarely have that happen. Most of my coaches come from my challenge group. It's a very organic way of rolling people into coaching, and it makes my job a lot easier because they know what the experience is supposed to look like. Now, I do have some random people who are personal trainers or they already kind of have the feel for social media and are like, I think I can do what you're doing. I just need you to teach me. They require a lot more hand-holding, but they can be super successful also. And that just requires a lot more mentorship on my side because they don't know what they're doing. So I put them in my challenge group as a brand new coach. And as a brand new challenger. So it's their first time experiencing it, but they're also allowed to add people as well.
Let's see, any other questions? And then I know your son will be there soon. Do you do your sneak peek on your profile page or the challenge group you started and just make it public? I believe you do it as a private group, right?
Yeah, it's a closed group. So people can add people. It's not just me adding them. They can add people and I approve them. Because I always go to the profile and make sure they're not coaches or they don't already have a coach. So I'm like adding people who have coaches already. But yeah, it's a closed group from my personal page. My like page is terrible, by the way. So if anyone was going to ask, like, do you do a like page? No. My whole business has been built on my personal page.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I agree. I think this has been one of the best calls ever. So much valuable information, and it's just so fun to see like how people are doing it a little differently. And I think very applicable, a lot of takeaways and action steps that we can apply. So thank you so much, Jatana. And
you guys have a plan for July now, right? I just gave you dates, so when you can start.
Yes. This is perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for getting on. I will post the recording so you can share this with your coaches. And I think we'll be set. So thank you so much.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.